Hello, everyone. This is Sean from Barry Digital Media, and I hope you are doing well. And today I'm going to be doing a commentary on my recent Google Flow music video called The Only Truth Ahead. And when I was trying to get a concept of what to do for this music video, I was just loading up Google Flow and I figured that this concept here that I did for my thumbnails video might work as an idea. So let's take just a full screen here and kind of see what we were working with. I had a big city over here and I had an adventure over here. So with that said, let's go on over to all the work that I did for this for this music video. And so you can see that I'm scrolling down quite a bit of it, but I plan to go through most of these screens one by one. But I mean, right off the bat, you can see that I did quite a few different variations for this. And that is probably the most hard part about this is that I went through a lot of credits to make this video. I thought I would, end up with maybe 300 credits down, but at the end of it, I think I went down about 600, 650 credits. So pretty much my entire subscription got eaten up by this video. But you know what? If you guys enjoy it, then that's definitely worth it. I enjoyed a lot of it as well, so that's good as well. I kind of get the impression that the state of Google Flow right now, at least with how I was using it, would be great for storyboarding and putting together like a general idea of a scene before you go through with it. So, as you remember from the previous project that I was looking at in Google Flow, we had this character here, as well as the castle. So I tried to, let me just, all of these have audio with it, and that's another thing that I would prefer. Oh, okay, it is already muted. That is something that I would prefer if there's a way to use VO3 without using audio. But with everything that I do, it just comes out with audio, beta audio, beta audio. That's another thing too, is I specifically did this in vertical mode, and that's the only way that I can use it. It's in VO3 and not in VO2. I guess it makes sense that that VO2 doesn't support it, but now there's a label here saying that support is ending soon, so it makes more sense. But when I was originally doing this concept, it was still showing the regular one. So I'm hoping that the VO3 comes down to a few less credits or fewer credits. But anyways, so that tangent aside, what I did mostly for this was I used frames to video, and you can hopefully see if I click here. Yeah, perfect. You can see all the different pictures that I had added into it. And so I will be getting into those, but this is how it started out. And you can see that it starts out with a black background. I was hoping that VO would have taken that out, but yeah, you can see, I mean, the animation quality of the guy here is really good, but in this case, I was hoping that he would walk towards the city, but now you can see in both he's walking away with it. So that didn't work. I tried switching it around. I still had that black background. He's going towards the city, but the city looks pretty awful in this case. And again, the city, it's not looking good. So then I guess I decided to focus more on the city and start drawing from that. And I actually like the city quite a bit. It's very unique and very abstract. You can see that it has this sun icon here. So you can see that this city has some sort of big religion around the sun, and that gives the city character essentially. And then also I really like this architecture up here where it's spiraling upwards, kind of like a unicorn horn. So this city just shows a lot of character. And so let's go ahead and play this clip. And there we have our character walking in. Very nice. Kind of simple, kind of nice. Um, let's take a look at this one. Okay, yeah, in this one you can see that for some reason there's a lot of darkness around the character. He's also getting close to the city much faster than what would be realistic. There's also some artifacting. What is... I do like how the camera's moving along the ground, so I mean, it's not all bad, but also at this point I kind of realized that I was going through credits really quickly, so I decided to just go one by one at this point. And so here's the next one. And so you can see the character walking through the street, but oh, here, right here, there's a guy who just goes from a solid state into somebody who's running. And it took me a couple times to really notice. See, this guy right here. See, notice he's just kind of in the background, not really moving, but then all of a sudden he's going to get animation. Yeah. So, in fact, I didn't even notice him doing that transition until maybe the 3/4 the way going through the entire editing process. Another thing that I don't know, I kind of like about this clip are the faces on the left-hand side. I was hoping for strange-looking people, but the guy over here especially, really just something's wrong with with his face. So yeah, I mean, I was pretty happy with those results, but oh, and then let's just double check. But thankfully, I did notice that error. Another thing that I really liked about this is the movement of the buildings. It seems to be slowly moving down with him. And then even the clouds are slowly moving as well. So, hmm, how should I... So we're seeing these strange men here, but I'm wondering if... Okay, no, I can't quite see it. So there's going to be another clip where these three shady characters... Oh, okay, here they are. I don't know why I didn't see them earlier, but um, these three characters, I really wanted to take a look at what the people of the city are thinking about this man walking into their city. And I like how different so the character blends in with the overall universe. Like he matches with the city very, very nicely. But then all the city folk, you can tell that they all have these really colorful clothes, um, which is interesting because that actually does make a whole lot of sense. In a city, you are very protected, um, and you are worried about social status and things like that. But, you know, if you're traveling the desert, then you're probably trying to blend in with the desert as much as possible um, to ensure your safety, as well as trying to fight back all the radiation and heat from the sun. So he's definitely a part of the universe, but not a part of the the city here. So, anyways, I decided to focus on these three guys here, and I made another scene. I think I made another two scenes with them really, and it's just a moment to point out that our tanned man here is the stranger, and the other guys are noticing. And so I made a couple of these clips here, but let's see. I'm wondering why I didn't. Okay, yeah, see, the background was moving with him. It looked like they were walking towards as well, or really gliding along. So that one definitely didn't work. Now this time they were rotating around 180 degrees. One person shows up randomly. So yeah, that definitely is no good. Well, better. But I just don't think that... I just don't think it was good. It went too much into their heads. And it didn't really feel like it was tracking the walker. And I don't know if I don't remember exactly, but depending upon my editing process, the character actually may have been walking towards the camera at this point. Anyways. Okay, so it looks like I decided to go with this one. So these three characters, they're not moving much, but I think it's just enough. Like the head movement in the back kind of seems like it's following our tan character. And the other, yeah, and then the guy in the middle is slowly following him. They're kind of moving and gliding, but I don't think I used the clip that long enough in order for that to become an issue. I actually do a lot of speed changes in the clips, um, which I think adds an extra surreal feeling to the overall experience. So then I decided, so I don't know if I should say this yet, but one problem that I got was I had made, so I listened to the song and I made a list of seven different points. And so I made clips for those 7 different points, and then once I loaded them all into the editor, I was only maybe 1/3 of the way of the song. So I needed to figure out many ways to help fill my entire timeline. Realistically, I probably needed probably like 7,000 AI credits to really get this project closer to the song as it should have been. But anyways, so I decided to just keep on going forward. I decided to focus on this guy right here. The quality that came out is all right. I would have preferred maybe a little bit more movement with his eyes, but at the same time, I was also thinking that maybe it was enough. Right? Maybe his face here just being solid and kind of worn out, kind of depressed, um, would be a good reaction because he's already in this state of mind where he's not very happy, he's grumpy, and he's kind of realizing that, hey, there's this one extra problem now that he has to deal with. There's the stranger inside of his city, and he's not quite sure what to do with it, but he's not happy about it. Anyways, and then, so again, there was a point where I was just trying to look for different clips to put inside of the entire video. And so I thought it might be a nice idea to change from day to night. And so I have 2 or 3 of these clips where I was going to do that. But I guess I used that idea in a different way. Clearly the clouds are moving way too fast in this one. And also the buildings are just going into darkness. So maybe this one here is better. Yeah, this one is nicer. I was going to use this one. It's one of the ones that I had to cut out. I like the small little bit of dust that comes up. I like how the buildings are moving side to side. The clouds are moving well. Although there's a little bit of a problem up there where there's something hovering on top of the buildings. But and I like how I kind of realized this was a potential problem midway through, that some of the buildings didn't have these pointy architecture like that did on the original city, but thankfully it did carry through with most of them. This goes a little too dark, but of course that could be cut out. So now we have our main character, and so the ending of our clip really comes up early. I think I wanted. I use it for the ending, but also I really think that I just generated this because I was trying to fill space. Um, let's play it and then maybe we'll come back to it. So I I ended up not using this one particularly because I realized that inside of my command, I had asked for a mask, and that's not really what the gentleman here would have had around his face. And so we got these strings that are going around. See how these strings are coming out, and that's not exactly what he would be wearing. It'd be more like this one. I think his face cover is what I asked the second time, and I even hearted this one by the looks of it. I really like how it pauses, and then right before he takes off his cover, he gives a blink, and then he holds. I had to do some editing to try to hold the stare a little bit longer. The editing program that I was using is not very good, so I wasn't able to hold it that well, but I did my best. So, anyways, now we're back to the city, and again, I think I was trying to fill in some space and then change it from um, light to dark because the at some point inside of the song, it does tell you that the wanderer is going to get in a whole lot of trouble. So that's what I started to try to recreate. Oh, there you go. So yeah, this one, I mean, it definitely goes night, but these clouds are just so unrealistic. Like I kind of like how it's enveloping the entire city here, but um, this is a pretty cool scene right here. I think something could be done with this. Um, cool night sky, cool clouds. These spikes again are really interesting. Um, and then, that gives even more context here about having the sun as a religion. If the start here just wasn't so cartoony, then I would have I would have used this one. See, it just doesn't make sense at the start of it. Maybe what I could have done is, started it, started the video. Here, maybe. There, I only have 2 seconds to work with. I just don't think that I could have used this clip, unfortunately. And I think that is one of the limitations with AI at the moment. I mean, it is amazing, but it's still very limited. So I think this is the one that I probably went with. Yeah, it makes a little bit more sense. It does, go from day to night. Not too bad. Okay, and here's the other clip that I was talking about earlier. And now we have this character here walking towards the camera. So I think the clip where he's walking down the alley and where he's walking up the alley are split so far apart that the audience doesn't notice it. Yeah, I was pretty happy with its clip, although there's a little bit of artifacting at the very end of it, but I don't think you can really see it unless you're paying attention to it. And by that time, it's actually fading to the next clip. And yeah, so this clip here, I was I didn't. I was pretty happy with how the clip, how the music video was ending with the gentleman taking off his face cover. But at one point, this was actually going to be the ending of the story, because I mean, what story isn't amazing, which ends with love and finding your significant other, and that's definitely what I was kind of aiming towards or considering at one point. But I decided to go with removing the cover of his face. Um, I rearranged it so yes, the relationship, the interactions with this woman is still very important. It actually covers two clips inside the music video, but um, I think there is just something. I think there is just something a little bit more powerful, a little bit more meaningful by the gentleman taking off his face cover. Now, something that's a little bit humorous is that the gentleman is still wearing his face mask, even here and in the next clip. Um, you would figure that he would have taken off his face mask in this casual setting, but that's another just limitation of AI and my wallet, really. Oh, you know what? Okay, there's actually a second thing. Um, yeah, I was running out of credits while doing this, but I did. There's going to be another clip up there in a little bit where I do take off his face covering, but again, it just didn't make as much of an impact finishing off the video where this was the ending scene. It for some reason it made more of an impact where the gentleman kept on his face mask throughout the entire clip until the very end. And that is a challenge just with the way that I went about this, is because I didn't really have a set design from start to finish. I mostly just did it as it came to me. So it would have been better if I kind of planned out each scene by scene. But you know, when you're working on these things, all sorts of different ideas come at you, and you just have to try them. Although, yes, again, you are limited by the credits that you have. So this isn't our finale one, clearly, but um, you can see that she's quite animated. It almost seems like her hand goes on her cup. The crowd is kind of wonky in the background, so I don't think that's the exact one I used. And then here, this is actually a clip that I don't think made it to the end. Um, and that's for two reasons. One, I decided to go with another official looking clip, the one where there's a man behind a desk. But this one here, I mean, I did like it, but our tanned wanderer here, his eyes are just a little too boy like, let's say. And then he gets too excited. And now, actually, taking a second look at it, his the guy in blue's eyes are looking a little weird. Now maybe let's just wait. Yeah, okay. And then that's the other thing, is the blue man decides to walk off, and then our wanderer follows, and that just didn't make sense because clearly inside of this clip here, or inside of this music video, our wanderer is his own man. He's leading his own way, and you know, trying to make his own destiny. And in this case, if he's following the blue guy, then that's just not the case. Okay, and so here's the government official one. Um, so there was actually another image that I had made where the, let's say the Sultan here, this whole wall behind him is gone, and you just have a hallway. And I don't think he has a desk either, but or maybe his desk is see-through. I forget exactly, but I decided to go with this one because it did seem more official. And then I also really liked how big this desk was. It just provided this big border between our wanderer and our sultan gentleman here. And then just providing that contrast between the two characters, I think just kind of built up the whole situation. Because again, the wanderer isn't welcome inside of the city, so he needs to get past this border and get in good favors or whatever he's trying to do with the sultan here, and this is in his way. And I really liked in this one just how big the room is. I like these big pillars, and I like that big artwork. And I like how there's guards in the back. Although I think some people walk past in this clip here, but still, I like a lot of things that came out through this one. Oh, his hands are kind of messed up too, but I decided to overlook it. Yeah, the guys in the back are a little artifacty, but so again, this is a clip where I didn't quite anticipate needing a clip like this, but I just needed more content to fill time. So the song sounds like the wanderer goes through a lot of troubles and things like that. So I wanted to do something in the shadows, and oh yeah, and then so inside of Flow, I put in a comment something like "the walls are alive" or something like that, and I got this weird effect from Flow, but and it doesn't, if you're just looking at the clip alone, it doesn't really make sense. But when you're looking at it inside the music video, then it does provide a little bit of additional wonder about what's going on. It almost seems like our wanderer here has some special powers. Oh yeah, the guy in the back here really blurs up right at the end. Yeah, that's pretty bad there, but still, I ended up using this clip. Okay, and so we might be back to this person or this relationship here. Oh, no, not this one. These guys wandering by are very, they're almost better quality than our two people speaking. Then I guess I made this one again. I didn't really like how you could see the wanderer's face through the mask there or through the covers. And then this might be it. There's one where the animation quality of our two characters goes up to like Disney level. Okay, yeah, there we go. But then he looks very feminine too. And so, although the quality definitely jumped up in certain regards, um, it's the Wanderer's character really changed, and then just the kind of break away from the style of everything else. Oh, and then even the covering here, it changes the style too. You can see that it's just a handkerchief at this point, but really it should be much more. And they're kind of they're kind of mirroring each other. And then I just noticed that this guy's arm blends in with the rest of them. So yeah, that one's no good. Okay. And so this is the one I used. You can see that their conversation is very subtle and muted, but you know, I wasn't looking for any big movements. And the only other thing that's actually moving inside the scene here is this guy in the background, just slowly moving. And because he's not supposed to be the main character of this scene, that's about right. Just enough to show that they're not static characters, but not enough to take attention away from the guys in the front. Oh, and here we go. Um, I did have one without the mask there. His mouth is looking very strange, but yeah, it just didn't work with the flow. And once again, I was looking for things to fill content and time. And so at first I had them on top of one of these little towers up at the top, but it wasn't quite working. So I figured a rooftop garden might be the better way to go. Now this one does go too dark, so I think I went with another one. Maybe I just cut out the ending of it there. And then here, I think I was trying to get. Oh yeah, so I was trying to fix this guy over here in the middle because you can recall in the other clip he starts off static, but then he starts walking. But then in this clip, you can tell that the guy on the left here, his face just keeps on morphing all over the place. So that wasn't usable. And then I tried again. Oh yeah, and I tried to add dust. I mean, in all my command prompts, I was asking for more dust, but this one just comically added dust. And then even what was happening? Somebody's face, yeah, here it's all over the place. So I couldn't use that one. Oh, and I think I used this one. This one I was quite happy with. You can see that he's just walking through. There's some other people that are walking. There's other characters along here, but they're in 3D. They're standing still, but clearly they are there and they take up some space. But again, they're not taking attention away from our wanderer here. The clouds are moving a little bit. The building's moving as he walks, so I'm very happy with those. And that was my last clip. And so yeah, again, I took about 650 credits from it. Overall, I think that the experience was quite good. Really good for getting a scene's like storyboard or feel before you actually go and spend time hand animating it or filming it. I can see that there's definitely a lot of potential there. I mean, even on like a set, let's say, if a photographer took a picture of people standing all together inside of a set, they could throw it inside AI and just be like, what would it look like if Susie just stormed out the door in a fit, something like that. I don't know, but it gives you an option to take a look at that first before spending the resources. Or you know what? I guess that's probably a better way to think about it. Let's say that you're about to launch a car off a ramp, and you only have one shot to do it in. You could take a photograph from 10 different angles and then have somebody look at it through AI in those 7 different angles, and then put the camera in a potential spot to get the best angle, or even set up several other cameras in some other potentially good places that you've tested out with the AI camera, and then you have like 3 cameras going at the same time at different spots where you think that they are good, and you have a little bit of a better educated guess. this was, so I'll wrap this up. And this was a whole lot of fun. I did enjoy it. Definitely a huge learning process. It is just amazing what these tools can do. And if you enjoyed it, then please give me a like, put down some comments, things that you like, things that you hated. Everything is welcome. I hope you have a good day. Bye.